Hi, I'm Davis Gaines, and this is Hello, Jerry.
Hello, Jerry!
I had the great privilege and honor to be cast in a production of Hello, Dolly with the great Carol Channing. I played the part of Cornelius Hackle. I had to go to Jerry to audition, and I walked up the long 5 flights of stairs to his solarium where his piano was. And I walked in, and there was Carol Channing and Jerry Herman. And I had to sing It Only Takes a Moment from Hello, Dolly. Happily and luckily, I got the role, and I got to tour with the show for 6+ months with Carol Channing.
The hardest part about this whole experience is that every single Jerry Herman song that he wrote is a hit. This show could actually go on for 9.5 hours, and it might.
I had the opportunity to work with Jerry. Thrilling experience. I was cast as Mabel Normand in Mac and Mabel right after it closed on Broadway. We rehearsed it in New York, and we had a big gypsy run through in New York where Jerry actually played the piano on stage. Our entire orchestra was the upright piano, and Jerry Herman sitting on 2 phone books playing the entire score. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
You've got the banjo strum and plucked it out of tune.
When I was in college at UCLA, some actor friends took me down to the beach to meet Jerry Lawrence, who was the writer of Mame, and Jerry Herman was there, and everybody was drunk in margaritas and singing Mame on the beach. It was a wonderful time.
You make the cotton easy to pick,
Jerry is a doll. I've worked with him many times. My mother did the movie of Mame, so during that whole period I got a chance to really spend some time with him.
I've done Dear World, a production of Dear World off Broadway in New York with Tyne Daly. You know, it was just incredible to get a chance to work on that material that is never done. I mean, Dear World is hardly ever performed, and that's really one of Jerry's best scores.
And all at once, I'm beautiful again.
My very first Broadway show was the first revival of Hello, Dolly with Carol Channing. I played Minnie Fay, and we did a 9-month pre-Broadway tour and then opened on Broadway.
And back in those days, the paper came out the next day with the review of the show. I'll never forget what it said. Davis Gaines rivaling even the great Channing for attention. So I knew that either I was going to be fired or it could go either way. So I took the long walk to Carol's dressing room, and I opened the door. She was getting all her made up for Hello, Dolly. And she goes, "Davis." I said, "Yes." She goes, "I read the review." And I said, "Oh, great, great. I've already called Jerry." And I thought this was it. And I told him about the review, and we are so thrilled that you're on our tour. And I said, thank God I made it through that moment.
You know, everybody wants to sing Jerry Herman music. It's so great. And then I finally got to play Dolly Levi a couple years ago.
hello, Dolly, well, hello.
The show is very deceiving. I expect, oh, that old warhorse, but he's very deft with his lyrics and music, and you really have to pay attention.
Carol Channing, to me, is one of the living icons that has been a part of the theater scene for so many years. I idolized her as a kid. What was really nice is that she became one of my very dear and good friends.
And Carol Channing was the original. She was still on Broadway, and I was the second Dolly.
For I've got to go again. I've got to drive again. I've got to feel my heart coming alive again.
Oh, Jerry Herman is, he's like the grandfather of musical theater, right?
Movies, what movies, what movies, when I ran the show!
He's written some of the biggest shows ever. And I had a great opportunity to do La Cage once. I got to play the son, Jean-Michel.
I came to Jerry as a performer for the first revival of La Cage aux Folles.
Your life is a sham.
And of course, he's always been a hero of mine since I was, 18, 19 years old. So, it's great to be around him so much. And because we had a long rehearsal period, I got to really talk to him. And he's a great guy.
There's one life, and there's no return and no deposit. One life, so it's time to open up your closet.
I did the revival in 2011 of La Cage aux Folles. I played Jacqueline. And I think what touched him most about that particular production was that when it was originally done in 1983, that was a love story that really couldn't be told between two men. It was told, but it was told in a kind of a story-like way, almost like these weren't real people, maybe, In 2011, it could be told. These were strong, virile men who loved each other, and then that really, really moved Jerry deeply. It came full circle for him, I guess is the point.
If music is no longer lovely, if laughter is no longer lilting, if no longer loving, then I don't want to know.
I first met Jerry back in 1978. I had done a production with Carol Channing on Broadway called Lorelei, which was around 1973-74. And a couple years after that, I got a call from Carol Channing, and she said, "Hello, Leroy, it's Carol. Carol Channing," like I didn't know. And she said, "I'm going to do a revival of Hello, Dolly, and I want you to play Cornelius Hackle. However, Jerry Herman doesn't know you, darling, or the director, Lucia Victor, but don't worry about the audition, you got the part." And indeed, I did get the part.
I did the producers. Mel Brooks went to Jerry Herman first and said, "I'm making a stage version and I want you to do the music." Jerry just looked at him and said, "Oh, there's only one person that can do the music for this show." And he wrote this, and Jerry sat down at the piano and started playing "Springtime for Hitler," and it sort of put Mel on that trajectory that I guess I'm going to do this.
Some Tuesday, Thursday, April, August, autumn, winter, next year, some year. Time heals everything. Time heals everything.
I'm very grateful to Jerry for actually writing all those wonderful roles for women of a certain age, because there are still roles that I can play. So Jerry gave us a lot of hope.
Did he need a stronger hand? Did he need a lighter touch? Was I soft or was I tough? Did I give enough? Did I give too much?
Amazingly enough, even though I'm older than dirt, I can still play those roles, so ask for me.
Bridge that gap, fellas. Find me an empty lap, fellas.
Jerry writes from his heart, and his musicals will always live because of that, as currently Bette Midler is proving once again with Hello, Dolly.
Right now, with everything that's going on in the world, I don't know any writer that's an optimist like Jerry Herman. No one writes with such hope, with such optimism, with such positivity, and we need it now more than ever.
You can take one song out of any of Jerry's scores, and it works by itself with just a piano.
The songs make me happy. They bring me joy.
For today, the world is ripe as a peach. It's gonna be mine till I reach 110.
But this type of Broadway music, of theater music, is almost vanished now. A well-constructed song, a melody, that doesn't exist now.
And lyrically, it works. You understand it. It makes you feel.
I'll tell you what people love. They can go out of the theater humming the songs.
I think that his melodies are just unlike anything else. I mean, they're so brilliant, they're so catchy, and they're so deceivingly simple.
My arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved.
they sound simple. You can pick them up, and then you start studying them, and you go, "Oops, that's not the note." He's really a genius.
What a great feel-good show La Cage is, and I think that's true of most of his shows. You go away just with a smile on your face, humming the tunes, some of the greatest music ever written for the Broadway stage. Jerry Herman, he's the guy.
And I think he's a genius, and I know Julie Stein, who was one of our great composers, once said to me that he felt that Jerry Herman was the Irving Berlin of his generation. And I don't think you could get a better thing said about you.
It's glorious, glorious to sing Jerry's songs.
Just strumming and plucking out a tune to beat the band. The whole plantation's humming since you brought Dixie back to Dixieland.
You make the cotton